Hello everyone. Today I want to give you a quick overview of a few features that are included in the Dynamics 365 Supply Chain Management 2020 Release Wave 1. Key investment areas for this release are simplified onboarding via LCS so that you can be up and running almost immediately. General availability of planning optimization support for distribution, enabling fast master planning during office hours, and preview of planning optimization support for planned production orders, enabling manufacturers to gain the benefit of fast master planning during office hours. Several other new features that are going to general availability include the new work line details form that provides additional overviews of work lines for warehouse management teams, inbound quality checks so that you can decide whether to run a full quality review, plan cross-docking so that you can save the time, labor, and space required to put away inbound items that are needed in outbound. And finally, user-directed and system-directed clustering to save time and labor moving items. Well, let's see how this all works. We'll start by installing planning optimization from Lifecycle Services. We select Install, a new add-in, and we select Planning Optimization, Approve, and click Install, and there it is. Then we enable Planning Optimization from Master Planning Setup, Planning Optimization Parameters, and you see we're connected, which means that we can start to use Planning Optimization with a single switch. Now let's start with Supply Planning for Distribution. So we go to Master Planning for this workspace. We dive into our planned orders and filter for item 2000. And you see that we have results for various warehouses, 21, 22, etc. Let's compare how they handle planning. So if we take a look at warehouse 21, we can see that it's using a coverage group called requirement. So each sales order results in a matching transfer order, and that the dates and quantities match. Warehouse 23, on the other hand, uses a coverage group with a period of 7 days. So in this case, all the sales orders are bundled into one transfer order. Warehouse 13, which is our distribution center, uses a min-max coverage group. So all the outgoing transfer requests result in one purchase order that fills up the distribution center. Well, let's look at how you can process these planned orders. You can approve them, which prevents automatic changes of the approved planned orders. And you confirm, either as a manual process when you're done working with the plan, or you can set it up to auto-firm within some time period as part of the planning run. Let's dive into the item. And we can see the supply schedule, first by days, then by weeks, and then months. And the period end inventory, where we're staying above 100 until we go up to 250 in June based on forecasts. So this is a great tool to see what's going on. Now let's look into one item. Here we see the item coverage showing purchase for warehouse 13 and transfers to warehouses 21, 22, and 23. And you can see the coverage groups for each warehouse that we've just reviewed. So let's change from the master plan that we're on and run a simulation. We'll start with the details. Here we have the forecast model with the promotion in May, appropriately called May Promo. And we run it, and it only takes a couple seconds, so you can run these simulations at any time. And we see that we have a number of delays from the May Promo, so that's not good. We changed to a promotion in July using the July promo forecast model. And we see that by delaying the promotion 2 months, we no longer have delays on our transfers to the final warehouses. Remember that we had that big order coming in June. So instead of taking hours at night, you can see that in just a few minutes, we've run several simulations that show us the impacts of different promotions. Now, let's look at planning optimization support for planned production orders that's currently in preview and enabled via feature management. Here are our planned orders, and we'll look at 2100, which is a planned order for a Speaker Pro pack. Let's dive in. And we see that it's created a planned production order for the speaker Pro Pack, an ensured supply of the components. Out of the 2 mid-range speakers, one needs to be produced, and an explosion shows that we have all the components on hand. The other mid-range speaker is already on hand. But we also need to create the Speaker Pro Kit. And to do that, we need to create purchase orders. So you see how it's unrolled the bill of materials and checked for availability. And for the items that aren't available, it's created planned orders. And with this, we open the door for manufacturers to gain fast and frequent master planning. The new work line details form that's in general availability provides additional overview of work lines for warehouse management teams. Here you see the list of work lines. You can switch between viewing all the work lines or only open work lines. And you can use the headers to apply a range of filters to see different sets of work lines. You can also change the location of the work line, cancel, or adjust the quantity of work lines. Now, this is a big improvement in your ability to visualize and adjust work lines. Moving to general availability with this release is Inbound QC Check. Now, this feature allows you to perform rapid quality checks on the spot at the time of receiving to the inbound dock area. We accept a shipment, and this can be used to trigger either a put away order or a quality in quality check work order. And we see our process of pick, which we've done, quality check that's in process, and put that's still open. Now, if we accept the pallet, the quality check step is closed and the pallet is put away into the warehouse. We get our put location, we're done with that pallet, and it disappears from our list. So we go to Show Closed Work, and you can see that all the steps are closed. Now let's QC the second pallet. This time, we'll reject it. And we see that the put away location has been changed to QMS. Inbound QC Check offers a much more flexible and faster processing alternative to the existing quality check process. Another feature that's gone into general availability is Plan Cross-Docking. Cross-docking allows you to take inbound inventory and direct some to an outbound order without putting it away. This results in savings of time, labor, and space in your warehouse. So here's a quick example. We receive an order of 5 cables, but when we go to put away, we get an immediate notice that we need to cross-dock 3 of them to the bay door. And after we're done with the cross-dock, we get a pick request for the remaining 2 items and a put request to location bulk 001. We get the cross-dock first, as there might be more cross-docking from this order. And only after all cross-docking is done does the system send a put request. Another feature that's gone to general availability is put-away clustering, which is used when you have multiple small sets of items that you need to put away. Now, rather than creating multiple single put-aways, you can put away a cluster, even if you're taking them to different warehouse locations. Let's see this in action on a PO with 2 types of cables. We receive the items, 5 of one type of cord and 1 of another type. And we see that we now have 2 new menu items. The first, to assign these items to a put-away cluster, and the second, to put away the cluster. So we start by assigning a cluster ID. Now this might be the trolley or bin that we're using to move the items. We scan both of the items and close the cluster. And now we have the task to put away the cluster with 6 items, which is correct. So we accept, and the cluster is completed. And the cluster ID is free to use again and again, so we can use this trolley or bin to move more items. Now to make this happen, we configure the cluster put away. We created our own cluster ID and didn't use positions on a trolley or bin, but those are some of the options that are available. And you can set clusters to group by type or time. And we can set when to set the put away location, so you can decide when to choose the location and whether to have the user select the location. The assignment of work orders can be optimized by specifying custom sorting criteria. At the time of picking, A system-directed cluster is created with a picking order pre-assigned to cluster positions. This works the same as user-directed clustering. We can set this up with a maximum number of items. So, for example, we can say that only orders with less than 20 items can be clustered. Let's see how this works on the outbound side. Here's our menu. And we see that we first get a request to pick 17 items. And we have a second request for 1 item. And after we've collected these, we have the put for all 18 items at once. So you can see how powerful this is in terms of saving time and labor. As you've seen, the 2020 Release Wave 1 update provides you with simplified onboarding via LCS, so you can be up and running almost immediately. General availability of planning optimization support for distribution, enabling fast master planning during office hours. And a preview of planning optimization support for planned production orders, enabling manufacturers to also gain the benefit of fast master planning during office hours. And the new features going into general availability. The new work line details form that provides additional overview of work lines for warehouse management teams. Inbound quality checks so you can decide whether to run a full quality review. Plan cross-docking so you can save the time, labor, and space required to put away inbound items that are needed in outbound. And finally, user-directed and system-directed clustering to save the time and labor moving items. For more information, use these specific links or go to the Release Overview Guide.